did have, though, for the podcast was, who the fuck made those delicious burgers on Friday? Fuck me, they were insanely delicious.
They were very good, right? One of my friends, Cezzy, or Matt, who does I think called Hood Burger.
Yeah.
And he's very good at the old food stuff. He's opening a new bar spot in Northbridge, I think next week or the week after.
What's his rest? You got to give him...
Man, he kills it. He's just good at all food, like anything food related we do.
Where is this actual location?
Oh, in Old Shanghai.
Okay.
He's opening a bar spot, and I've had some of the bars, and he made he did like a little thing for a few of our friends where he cooked up all the stuff that's going to be on the menu.
Yeah.
That's sick.
He's just
good at, he's a smart man, good at different foods.
I wish him all the best.
Yeah.
Fucking a man who gives me a burger like that, I wish him nothing but the very best. That was a delicious fucking burger. Everyone who was just biting into it was
it's just a good thing. It's like, yeah, all that alcohol, you need some sort of food, otherwise things get... a bit out of hand.
For the people wondering what we're talking about, Bradshaw's birthday was actually 2 weeks ago, but you celebrated this Friday.
Yeah.
I'm a stalker. Just ignore me, all right? And well, you're over in in India.
Yep.
And came back and threw a party, and I had a wild night. I haven't done funnels probably ever, even in high. I didn't even drink that whole high school period, to be honest. I only started drinking like 20-ish.
Yeah.
Funnels, and I mean, there were 10 of us who ended up at the library till 3 a.m. on a Friday night, and there was honestly only 20 people in the whole place. 5 of them were bartenders, 2 were security, 10 of us were Mac 1, there was like another 3 people. But we had the greatest time. We were blasted. And just carried on from your party. Your party was fucking amazing.
Yeah, that's the... Like,
you fucking throw a good vibe. Everything about it is just... It goes smooth sailing as well. That's the thing.
Yeah, everyone's chill. It's like a good group of people. I mean, the main reason... So obviously it was my birthday a few weeks ago, but then the main reason we just had launched a collab with Rusty.
Oh, hi Sheldon, by the way.
Yeah. So the main thing was like, it's a good excuse to have a party. The Rusty thing was a cool angle. So we got a bunch of alcohol, which they sort of sourced, bartender, and then you just get food. And it's like, you've got that many people and there's that much alcohol and there's food, problems can always happen.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's chill. It's like you're opening the store to people and allowing people to do what they want and have fun. Like, there's no reason for people to cause trouble, so everyone's there to have.
Because I even noticed, I was always keeping an eye out on the crowd and stuff like that, and I even noticed a few randoms.
Yeah, there's a few randoms coming in.
But to be honest, and then I was thinking, do I actually say anything? Is it cool? I don't know. And then
that's the thing, is like, there's that much alcohol, it's like, who cares?
Yeah, and then I just noticed, like, they grabbed a drink and started actually looking around the store, checking out the shirts and stuff, and I was like, man, this is actually potential clients. It's
that's what it's like.
Very good approach you have.
As soon as you close, like, this is in life in general, and like meeting new people, so you just close your doors straight away and don't open up to new people. You could potentially turn down something that could happen down the track.
It's very limiting.
So it's the same thing as the store. It's like, you've got a space, you've got way too much alcohol. What's the point of turning away a few randoms because they're taking a couple drinks? It's like, go and buy some more beers if it runs out.
Yeah.
That's what people, you can't just get...
But you do understand it is a very unique mindset you actually have with that, because most people would be quite strict with door list, whoever comes, you know what I mean? A lot of people aren't really comfortable.
Everyone's uptight. That's I don't know. I mean,
where do you get that from? You seem very easygoing. I mean, you're wearing a pink tracksuit.
We've always been, like, at the store, we've always done that. All our parties are always like I'll do like a private invite for people just because I want my actual friends to come.
Yeah.
And you put it public straight away, then randoms come. But it's like, that's the point of having, you're in the city. Randoms are going to come regardless. People are going to walk past. They see alcohol. That's cool. They come in and have a few drinks. But then if they start taking too many drinks, then it's a bit, If they take the piss, then of course. But like, I've got friends who, my close friends who are obviously going to come. But then I've got friends who I would see once a year. So whenever we have a party, they always come. And that's cool.
It is.
It's like, I don't see that person, but then when I do see them, it's like, oh, I remember I seen you at the last party.
Yeah.
And they like coming for that, and that's their connection to me and my connection to them. So it's like...
How did this whole StreetX thing come about?
I don't know. Like, when I was...
Go back to the beginning. Like,
sort of when I was in high school, like me and one of my best friends, or Caleb,
Yeah.
we used to always talk about it and be like, oh yeah,
Because you're a very young business owner, actually. You've had the business, what, 5 years?
6 years in December
6 years,
now.
exactly.
Yeah.
You started very early.
And it was sort of just like, I was always like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that at school. And then I sort of, in my mind, I was very big into sports. So I changed more to like the sort of physio angle, which I wanted to do. And then in year 12, I was sort of like, still don't know what I want to do. Didn't know what marks I was going to get. And then I was like, I like talking to people. And then I spoke to my dad a bunch, and he was like, oh, why don't you do sort of some sort of marketing-based thing? And I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. And then I got really good grades. I could have done anything I wanted, really. But then I decided I just wanted to do like a business-orientated thing and did commerce.
You didn't have pressure, pushing you more into education or saying going more after a degree?
They're not big on pressure at all.
Because when you're usually getting good grades for that, that's usually the pathway they want.
I just wanted to get the highest possible thing I could. Like my brother did really well, so I was like, fuck, I need to keep up. And
older or younger?
Older.
Yeah.
So he
they say it's always hard to be in that shadow.
Yeah, he did really well.
Especially when they're doing really well, yeah.
And he was a lot more book smart than me too. So I was like, man, I need to sort of try. So year 12, I didn't really do much. I just studied all the time and did quite well. And then decided just to do commerce, which is you only need a base entry of 80. So it's not that high. So I did that. And then in my last semester or second last semester, I sort of started thinking, I was like, oh, maybe I could do something. And then I did an entrepreneurship unit and we had to do a business plan. And I was like, like I could sort of use this and put something into actual plan, into real work. So I did that. And then my last semester I had failed accounting. Yeah. So I was doing my accounting unit by itself in the last semester. So I had a lot of spare time. That's when I was training and trying to do the whole fight thing. And then I was like, I could sort of maybe try do something. So eventually put this shitty or now that I look back at it, it's extremely shit business plan together.
Yeah.
That I'll never ever use anything from it, but it was a good starting point.
What was the basis of it?
Oh, it was the whole store thing, but it was just complete garbage.
Oh, it's just the wrong direction.
Yeah, no, it was the right direction.
Were there any positives to it?
But it gave me the starting point. That was the positive.
It was a draft.
I mean, I think that's the same with a lot of business plans. In reality, it's like all textbooks be like, cool, you do the business plan, you do that, and which is great. But then in reality, things change all the time. Every second, every minute, everything's changing. It's never like, oh, yep, cool, that's my plan, I'm going to follow it. Because if you do that, you're going to fail, 100%. So within a month, things have changed. It was a good point to start. But I look back at it now, I was like, it's a relic. But it was cool. Like that was a very start point.
It's good you saw that pathway that you will take bumps along the way.
Of course, you have to realize that soon.
You got to reroute at times.
You can't just be like, that's my plan, I have to stick to it.
Yeah.
Because that's not reality, the real world. In terms of textbooks and theory and that, it is. But that's not the real world.
Yeah. So
it's not an exam. You're not studying for an exam or doing something like that because you know what you're getting. Like you've got a mock exam. Cool, they're going to restructure it somewhat similar. It's going to be the same sort of vibe in the exam. Yeah. It's not real life.
Yeah.
That was my problem with uni. It was like uni was great and it gave you awesome way of thinking and doing certain things and learning, but it's not real life.
Yeah.
A lot of it, like I would do that and it was fine. And I look back now at uni, if I'd gone back now at my age, I would kill it.
The funny thing about uni, like a lot of people, I went to my like high school reunion last year, right? And honestly, 80% of the people that I spoke to where I was like, what are you doing with, it's a general question, what are you doing with yourself? 80% of them honestly said, I finished a degree, realized I didn't even want to do that in the first place.
Exactly.
And then I'm doing something completely different.
Right.
It is funny when you put, essentially a kid, when you're 18, you think about this, you're a kid.
Yeah.
To make that decision, what you're going to do for the rest of your life is virtually impossible for you to truly be fulfilled and happy and that driven to go all the way. I mean, some people from a young age, they know what they want to do. They visualize it. And, obviously you got the amazing athletes who, people who child superstars and with acting and stuff like that. There are exceptions out there, but for the most part, everyone is just pondering along saying, what's my passion?
Yeah.
And it seems like you found something that you fell in love with and that's why it seems so genuine.
Yeah.
It truly does.
No, it's true. It's true.
It's very genuine.
But then I look back at, like, my uni, for example. I was a little kid, did the bare minimum, got the grades I needed to do, and did fuck all during this semester. during the semester, 2 weeks of study week, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I look back now, it's like I still got some stuff I've learnt from there. But if I'd gone back now, I could have done a lot different. But then, like, my thing when I was at uni, I went to I used to go to these business seminars outside of uni. My dad got for me for my birthday one year. And I went there and I was like, oh, this is going to be shit.
Yeah.
Being a little kid going to them. And then I went there and I was like, this is sick.
Yeah.
Like, it was the best thing I ever went to. So I went to probably about 4 or 5 of them. And that was the best thing I ever did. They were like real life, hands-on seminars. So it's like it's not just a lecturer looking at a set of lecture slides which you fall asleep in.
Yeah.
And I went to these and I was like, oh, this is pretty, like, this is sort of what I imagined uni would be like, and this is what I want to do. So that sort of that really, after going to them, I was like, man, I could fully do something. So I went there, and then long story short, that's how it started. I think it was August, September 2011. Yeah, July, August, September, around that sort of area is when I sort of started planning stuff and being like, oh, this could sort of work. Did my little business plan, registered a few little names on ASIC and all that.
What were some of the draft ones? Throw them my way.
It was originally called the Street Exchange. That's what it was originally called, but then that was trademarked, so I was like, oh, I need to change it. Yeah. Because that whole thing originally was stock, like, themed around the stock exchange. That was my big idea, is to have a full financially themed thing, which I look back now is cool, but it's so far from that. Yes. So it's good to see the change. But that was my original thing.
You seem more urban, if anything.
Just, I don't know, I like the shit, like, especially the stuff we make and the stuff we do is inspired by what I like, what my friends like, what people who work at the shop like. Yeah. And it's like, I'm open to new things, like, especially, like, we'll skip a few things, like, look at the Rusty collab. It's like, I'm not good at surfing at all, so we didn't get the collab because of that. Yeah. We got it because
how did this come about? I'm very curious to see, like, your collaboration with Rusty.
Yeah, well, that's like...
I mean, they're not...
No, I'd say everyone knows what Rusty is.
Everyone knows Rusty.
You ask your dad, who's got nothing to... Like, my dad was like, oh, Rusty, what the hell? Like, that people overseas know what Rusty is. Yeah. And that's why, for us, that's perfect. Yeah. Is because it's not a collab we would ever... Like, it's not something we would ever make. We would never, ever make a surfboard. And that's why it makes sense. It's just like, collaboration works because you do something with someone that you would never do yourself. That's why it's a collaboration. Yes. Whereas if you just go to another very similar brand, let's make a t-shirt together. Like, two Perth-based brands, if one brand made t-shirts, the other brand made t-shirts, cool, let's make a t-shirt together. It's like, what's the point? You make your fucking t-shirts, I'll make mine, and keep them separate. There's no point. Yeah. Like, all of our stuff we've always done has made sense. Like, we did... one of the first ones was a tattoo artist from LA, Matt McCormick, or an actual legitimate artist now. We brought him over from LA. He decorated the store. We did like a collaboration on some shirts and all that sort of stuff. Did some tattoos. And that worked because that's not something we would do ourselves. Like, we don't tattoo, we don't do art. So we brought him from Los Angeles to Perth, other side of the world. And that's why that collaboration worked. And then that led to other ones. Like, we did a few with a guy called Anwar from LA, a brand called Carrots. And that works too, is because he's on the other side of the world. So that brings everything he's got here. So that's why it makes sense. It's like we're bringing someone from a place that's so far away, but super relevant to our market and demographic and what we like. Yeah. So it makes sense. And then we've done the one with Matty Matheson, who's a chef from Toronto, which, why would a chef and a clothing brand ever collaborate? Yeah. And that's what like, for me, that was always the key, is to do things that bring different types of cultures together that work, because it's far more long-term thinking than short-term. It's like, those things work so well is because short-term you're going to sell a few things that's going to be great, but long-term, that's what's building your brand, is because it's opening it up to new people, bringing cultures together, and just bring this thing together, and that's how you're going to build your brand further. Yeah. Rather than just being like doing stupid time-wasting collabs that don't make sense.
Yeah. It's actually a very interesting approach you have. and it's working. Obviously,
But that's why
it works. Yeah.
Because for us, it's different.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it from no emotion, completely outside of it, as a whole, it's a retail store.
Yeah.
Retail's fucked.
Yeah.
So you can't just be a retail store.
Yeah.
Like, I always wanted to have a brand, but I didn't know how. Like, I was like, the store.
That's the thing as well. You are surviving right now in probably the worst recession Perth has had in years.
And that's, man,
and for you to be on the incline, what does that say about you?
Exactly. That's why we've always focused on, because you go anywhere to half any business in the city. No one's like, we're killing it.
Yeah.
Everyone's complaining and this and that.
Yeah.
But you can't. That's life.
Yeah.
Go out of business. Go and do something else if you want to complain about that.
Yeah.
You got to constantly be doing new things. Like the party, for example.
Yeah.
Someone thinks it's just a party. It's not a party. Everyone who comes, you, for example, you came, you really enjoyed it. Subconsciously, that might make you more inclined to buy a t-shirt down the road.
I've already had it in my mind.
See?
I won't lie. I was in the shower. I was like, I really want a StreetX jumper.
But
It's getting cold.
That's what it's like. It's like,
I'm like, I sell Ugg boots, but I still want to jump. It doesn't make any sense.
It's not a direct selling thing. It's not like us in your, like, StreetX in your face being like, this is the new shit we've got made from this.
Yeah.
Because it's a natural,
it's a very old mindset as well.
Yeah.
I understand. It is too aggressive. It's too in your face, and people don't like that.
No.
People like this social side.
Exactly. And that's what's so good, because a lot of the big companies can't do that.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the personal touch with their consumers or with their market.
Yeah.
Whereas for us, we do. All the guys who work at the store are always heavily on the Instagram. Everyone knows who they are.
Yes.
So that gives people a personal feel. So it's not just me at all. Because I don't want it to be like that. Because I want it to be everyone who's there is just as much involved. So people don't have to be, oh, when are you at the shop? They can go whenever.
Yeah. Do you feel like you can keep that personal touch as you keep expanding? Or do you feel like it will lose a bit of its vibe once it becomes more of a...
Nah, because we're not going to...
commercial
we're not
kind
going to
of
become that.
brand, you know?
It will take a very long time to get to that point.
Yeah.
And I'm in no rush.
Is that what do you visualize for the business? Like in 10 years? Is that too far, or...
I just want to do as much as I can. Like, I want to travel as much as I can. I want to do as many cool collabs as much as we can.
Yeah.
I just want to do everything. Like, I want to travel, I want to do pop-ups internationally everywhere. Yeah. So it's like, in order for that to stay like it is and happen, we have to stay the way we are.
Yeah.
To a degree. Like, obviously we can't, I don't want to just be like, cool, let's go stock in the Iconic or something, because that doesn't make sense at all.
Yes.
If you did that, I would never do that. I would never buy something off there.
Yeah.
So that's why it will never make sense for us. Down the track, I could have a kid next year. I could get married.
Yeah.
Things could change. So you never know. That's why I don't like planning that far ahead, because you never know what's going to happen. So of course you always have to have an idea of what's going to happen. But like, it's like this year, in 2 days, I'm going to LA.
Yeah, tell me what's coming up for
so we got a pop
project.
up in LA the 24th with Rusty. So that's to launch the collaboration internationally and be over there. So I'll be there for a few weeks. I fly out tomorrow. Oh no, not tomorrow. In 2 days, but I haven't booked my flights yet. Yeah, I haven't booked my flights yet, so I need to go home and do that.
Yeah,
we'll
do it online for you.
I like being spontaneous and making things. Like, I'm always open to new things.
Yeah.
So we'll do that thing, and then we've got hopefully something after that in Hong Kong, and then in the middle of trying to line up something in Japan, and then we've got a pop-up lined up that's going to happen in Brisbane, and then maybe potentially something in Sydney towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
And that's
fucking busy.
That's a lot of things.
That's a lot of things.
That's a lot of things. So you don't
who is the team behind all this? I mean, are you like the face, and like who's
there's like,
I know people are putting in their part.
Yeah, of course. There's like me. Delby does some filming and a lot of photo stuff. A guy called Luke works at the shop. Does a lot of graphic design stuff. Instagram, he does a lot of content stuff. A guy called Rory works at the shop. James.
Everyone's kind of skilled though. Everyone's got a really
everyone does something. No one's just a
salesperson.
Yeah, like everyone. Like, if we're doing a new tee, like, we'll get the tee done. Say I could get someone to design a tee, or someone will design it, and then I'll post it in our chat with all of us, like 6 of us in there, and we'll all discuss it and see what the best sort of thing is. So there's like Ben, Rory, Angel, Luke, James, like the guys who are The main ones at the store, so they'll all either work or be heavily involved in stuff that happens at the store. All ideas and stuff they'll have a say in. But then we've had another guy called Scott does some design stuff. Delby obviously does the footage and video.
Yeah.
Finney, like there's probably, if you had to put a number on it, they would say like maybe like 10 people who are quite involved.
It is, everyone definitely pulls their weight, you can tell.
But that's the best thing about it. It's always been a team mentality.
But everyone, you know what the thing is as well? This is something my father tells our employees, that don't treat this business like you work here. Treat it like you actually own it.
Exactly.
Because when you actually do that, then when the business grows, you're going to be part of it.
Yep. And you got to make people feel
and everyone, exactly, you are giving people that actual initial part. And that's why they're actually motivated and driven to push the company forward.
Yeah. You know? It's the same with doing like that, the party stuff. It's like, if you invite all these people and say, cool guys, you're only allowed 3 drinks each. Yeah. They can have 3 drinks, fuck off and be like, that was average. Yeah. Whereas if you make everything transparent, open up to people and be like, all calm, you can do whatever you want. That's cool. And then when we closed up on Friday, 5 or 6 of my friends stayed and helped and cleaned up. Yeah. And that's not because I asked them. They did it without asking them because they feel a part of things and they want to help. They want things to succeed. And that's how you got to be. That's business aside. You got to be like that as a person.
You make me want to throw my 30th birthday in the store now in collaboration Project C.
But that's the main thing is trying
it's like ideas like that though. You bring them together and it actually makes it work. It actually works. It is working.
One of the main things that has always sort of stayed with me, one of the first guys, Matt, who we brought over from LA to do the pop-up thing. And
how are you exactly? Because I've seen on, your Facebook photos and stuff like that, you're getting some really big names coming into your store. How is that all coming about? Do you have a really good... are you calling up, I don't know, agents and Googling this stuff? I mean, how do you exactly get
it comes from
people walking into your store? You're like, I've seen like Stormzy and Kidding and stuff like that.
It's natural. It's like... What I was going to say, so Matt, who we brought over from LA, one of the best things that he said that I'll never forget is, business aside, the main thing is being a good person. Yeah. And that's how it happens. Like, that's how a lot of this stuff has happened, is natural, like just normal, organic networking. And it's not even networking. Yeah. It's more so being a good person. And there's always going to be people who don't like you. There's always going to be people you don't get on with. But there's going to be a lot of people who you do get on with. And I get on with a lot of the right people. Yeah. And that's just from you can't force it. You can't like go to LA and email every single person who you think's cool and be like, hey man, can we hang out? Yeah. It's not how it works. Yeah. It's like you have to put in the time. You have to go there numerous times and get these real relationships because that's how it happens. Yeah. You can't just email someone and think it's all cool. That's not how it works. Like once you've met someone and if they like you and you
actually hit it off or not. You can't fake something that's not there.
And if
I'll tell you my Drake story after this.
Yeah, and if you don't hit it off with that person, like you can love someone and you don't hit it off with them and you're like, you're a bit of a dickhead. Yeah, exactly. And you don't want to work with them. Like I wouldn't work with someone I don't like. Yeah. So, but all the people we do work with, we have great relationships with, and we work with a small amount of people. Like we've just been lucky. Like I've had like the Kid Ink thing. I actually met their tour manager who does Kid Ink and Ty Dolla Sign. Through one of my friends here, and I met and had dinner with him in LA, and we got on really well, and he was a really nice guy. So when Kid Ink was coming, he was like, oh, do you want me to send you to the store? And I was like, I didn't ask for that. Yeah. He was like, oh, he's going to be in town. And I was like,
a hell of a gift.
I was like, sick. Yeah. And that all comes from a natural meeting. Yeah. Like 3 years ago when I was in LA, I met a guy, literally just by chance at a store, and we just kept in touch on Instagram and stayed in touch. And now he works on YG's creative team doing the 400 stuff, which is like their merch. And then when I was in LA, he hit me up for a potential project with them. Yeah. 3 years later, and that's how things happen. Is like you can't.
So just being genuine is.
Yeah, and I mean
genuinely working. Yeah.
Some of the times it's gonna work and be really great, and a lot of times it won't work. There's gonna be a lot of people who you thought you would love to work with that you will never get to work with because you don't have that relationship with them. And that's life. You can't force it. Yeah. Same as like chicks, girls, everything. It's like you can't force something to happen. Yeah. you might want to meet that girl. She's not about it.
You're very in touch with knowing who you actually are, though. That's very unique.
Well, you got to be happy
a lot of
with
people.
yourself.
A lot of people don't, though.
No.
A lot of people don't.
Look what I'm wearing. Of course, I'm happy.
Of course, but you do you, and you're happy being in your own skin.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's like you got to think.
Where did you get that mindset from? Like growing up, with your parents?
Parents, yeah, it'd have to be like my parents. It's like
you'd have to have great parents then. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like you can't. Like I didn't have parents who forced me to do anything. Like I played football or soccer at a very high level when I was young.
I got to play with you.
Yeah,
I have to play with you. I want to see what like you're packing.
So like I did that when I was young, and I was never forced to do that.
Yeah.
That was because I loved it, so I wanted to do that, and I forced my parents to take me to that, which was great. And then when that sort of finished, when I was around 18, 19, I started the fighting, and loved that, and that was my choice. My parents hated that.
Yeah.
And like I fought a bunch of times, like mum came to one and was like, I'm never coming to that. I'm never watching that again. And that's what it's like. It's like that was always me. Like I always wanted to do those things. Like I wanted to play football. I wanted to fight. Business, I want to do that. And I just had that instilled in me probably through, it has to be through my parents, the way they brought me up.
But you got that trigger to actually make it happen, you know?
Because like, end of the day, we're in Perth. You're not going to be the Cristiano football coming from Perth. I mean, you could, but the chance of that happening is not. My whole thing was I
plan to make it with the Project C.
Yeah,
no, it's not going to happen like that, though.
But
it is true, though. Like, I mean, sorry to interrupt you, but everyone was saying, like, oh, who's the big names and stuff like you're getting? I'm like, you got to remember, we are in Perth at the end of the day.
Exactly.
You build your portfolio slowly, and it
everyone's
grows.
wants to go from there to there.
Yeah.
It's like it's slow and steady.
Take it easy, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Enjoy
like
the journey as well.
You got to relax and do it. It's like my whole thing in life, business, sport, everything I've done, I've always been the most motivated and most keen and always so about it. I've never been the best skill-wise, but being so about it and happy to do it and wanting to do it gets you places that people who've got these skills will never do it. Like you see, it's like any sport. Yeah. You see the kids who when they're young are the best kids by far. Come back 5 years later, they're just overweight and don't even play sport anymore. Yeah. It happens so often is because people just take everything for granted.
It's a lot of people who do talk about, I think it was Rogan I might have heard talk about this, I can't remember exactly, but they were saying when you have that mindset of I want to get there, that's happiness. You'll get there and you might be happy, but it's not that point that's true happiness. The true happiness is actually the journey along the way.
Yep.
The actual pursuit of it is the fulfillment and the happiness that brings you that I'm actually doing this. I'm actually doing it. And when you actually get there, you're like, I've done it. All right, what's up? What's next?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that actual process.
I mean, I still get it now.
And getting started is always obviously the hardest part, but once you do get started, it is a...
Yeah, but that's the thing, especially in business and in a big time in sport, especially with the whole fighting thing. It's like you see people, they don't want to be the worst at anything. They don't want to get flattened. They don't want to lose. They don't want to fail. And that's everywhere in the world. People don't like change. People don't like losing. People don't like being exposed. But it's like in business, you're gonna. Yeah. You're dealing with brands that are way bigger than you. People have been doing it for way longer than you. Suck it up. Like you got to get used to it. You
know what I would love you to do a collaboration with in the future? Say this whole Reebok thing finishes. Yeah. This is like a dream visualization. It could happen in the future. The Reebok deal is obviously going to end because everyone's opposed to it. In the future, someone from Mach 1, Jack Becker, gets in UFC, wearing your MMA shorts with StreetX on there.
Yeah. I mean, that stuff like that's cool is because obviously...
It gives you something...
It's different and that's what... that's my open mindset works is because it's like, I'm not ever going to try and be an MMA brand. Yeah. But it's like that works is because the way the brand is now set up is like we can do things without being categorized. Like the Rusty thing works is because that's that. We're not a surf brand, but we're doing that. The thing with Jack, who's one of my best friends, works so well is because it's not us pushing it as an MMA brand, it's us pushing it through him. Yeah. So it's supportive of him, and because the brand's always been so personal and there's always been around, like set up around people, the people involved. And like Jack's been involved with the stories, been to the stories, done a lot of stuff for us. So that's why it makes sense. Yeah. Like that's not me being like, who can I get that's good at fighting? Or
Robert Whittaker, like, will you wear my brand?
It will only ever work with someone like Jack or one of my friends is because I generally want to support him and want him to do well. Yeah. And that's why the relationship will work, rather than me being like, yeah, Robert Whittaker is the guy right now.
Yeah.
And I would never do that because it's like, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was someone I knew and I was friends with and actually had a relationship with, then I guarantee it will work. It's because it's natural and it's organic. And that's what
you're giving me so many ideas as you're talking right now.
Because that's what the big brands do.
You've triggered this mindset in my head. I'm like, man, StreetX, sorry, Ugg boots.
Yeah, and like there's always something
just
could work.
something to work with, you know?
Like that's why, and that's
what I do is like, obviously, I don't know if you've ever been to my store. It's like leather goods and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And thinking now, oh yeah, collaboration.
See, that's how things work.
Yeah.
Whereas like the big brands, they're the ones who will be like, cool, just throw money at people.
Yeah.
Reality, we can't do that. It's like we do well, but I'm not going to just blow a bunch of money on a face because would never work with our customer base, because it's like we've done for so long. Why would we all of a sudden now be like, cool, let's approach a big time rapper or whatever you want to do and be like, cool, let's get fucking Chris Brown or something. That's a bad example. Let's get Drake. Let's give Drake 10 grand to come to the store.
Yeah.
This doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't do that, and it like doesn't make sense to do that.
I haven't ever told you my Drake story, have I?
I want to hear this story.
So, because you're a big fan, eh?
Yeah,
well, everyone's a big fan.
Everyone likes
everyone.
Drake.
I'll be honest. It's probably probably for the last 5 years my number one artist. So I'm a huge Drake fan. And so if you remember, he came here, I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He came here for Future Music, but he did his own concert as well.
Yep.
So his Future Music appearance was on the Sunday, concerts on the Tuesday.
Yep.
So I saw him on the Sunday, and obviously, amazing performance. I was like losing my fucking mind. I was pouring bottles of water. I was hyperventilating. I'm a huge fan. Like, I'm a huge fan.
I wouldn't say I'm that big of a fan.
I'm a huge fan. I'll be honest. Like, I was, yeah. And so the next day, a mate of mine called up. Future Music's always lands on a public holiday. Monday, like, is a public holiday always. I think it's a Labor Day or something. Yeah. So my mate calls me. I was like, let's go out for dinner. I'm like, man, there's like nowhere open. It's like the Cass is open. I was like, all right, let's go down to the Cass. Went down, and then I just started like looking around, and you just start noticing like bits and pieces. You're like, I know that guy. He's Drake's bodyguard.
Yeah.
Like this cloud.
Yeah.
He's
a cloud.
He's a cloud. This guy, you're just looking at him like he would eat my ass.
Yeah,
or like,
he's a big man.
Like, I'm a big guy, and for me to feel that threatened by another guy, I was like, this guy's huge. And then I started seeing like guys in like Drake's, because if you ever watch his like his music videos, it's all his friends in the mix. It's his whole entourage. Like, fuck, he must be staying here. And then my mate and I saw his best mate. His name's Chubbs. You hear him in a lot of references to his songs. Chubbs is his like right-hand man. I'm like, hey, Chubbs. Is like, hey, man. My friend's like, can I grab a photo? He's like, yeah, sure, man. I'm like, how's just being genuine? Like, how's everything in Perth so far? It's like, yeah, it's cool. You know, we're trying to kick it and stuff. But our contacts, like in Australia, they had these Armenian guys in Melbourne and Sydney, had all the hookups here. They're like, bro, we don't know anyone here really. We don't have anything going on. Can you make something happen for us? Like, whatever you need. He's like, can you get us some girls? I'm like, how many? He's like, keep in mind, this is 8:30 on a Monday night, right? At the Crown. And I'm like, how many girls? He's like, there's about 10 of us. So if you can get like 10 or more, it'd be perfect. I'm like, 10:30 on a Monday, public holiday. The doubt came in my head, but I didn't want to show fear. I was like, yep, I've got it. Where do you want to meet? He's like, the La Vie bar. So if you know where like the reception is for the Crown, right to the left, where Rockpool is, right there's that La Vie bar. It's like a champagne bar. He's like, cool, we've got this place hired out, VIP till at 11 p.m. all night. Just work your magic. And we turn around, start walking. My friend, I look at him, he looks at me, we're like, where the fuck are we going to get 10 girls on a Monday night? And so we just started dropping messages to like friends of girls and everything. I'm like, look, we're trying to get an entourage party for Drake down here. And all the girls were saying bullshit. Like, no one would believe it. I was like, for fuck's sakes, like someone like, you know, take the bait. Not the bait, but like believe it, right? So a few girls started believing it, and then we just sent out the text and we just had to sit back and wait. And it's getting like 10:30, no girls are rocking up yet. And I'm like, fuck, we are going to look so fucking stupid in front of these guys. And then it's like 10 to 11, like 15 to 20 girls rocked up. All came for us, all like dressed up, wearing like makeup, balling, just looked stunning.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was gobsmacked, and like girls told another girl who told another girl. So it ended up just piling on, getting like 20 girls. And so I'm like, fuck, I don't want to just like walk in like and stumble in. Let's like do this properly. So the girls like would all stand behind me. I would walk up. So we had the place, and they're standing at the front, the guys. And Charles was seeing me walking with my mate, Radin. Shout out Radin. And we're walking, and these 20 girls behind us. And I say hello to the guy at the front, Mark. Like, hey man, he's like, hey, I'm Cina. I was speaking to Chubbs earlier. He said you guys wanted some girls, so I brought these girls along for you. He's like, he just gave me that look of like, my man. And so we went into this place. I went to buy the first round. Chubbs like, no, this is on us all night. Man, we probably like a 10 grand like bar bill easily. Like we were just go, because it ended up being like his crew, and then he let in like a few other girls and stuff like that. So we ended up being like 50 people in there, but it was just flowing. And then Drake wasn't actually coming down. Everyone was there, like his best friends, everything. I was like, Chubbs, what's the deal? Like, but I wasn't like expecting it. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey man, like I put this together. I was like, oh, what's up with Drake? He's tired or something? He's like, yeah, his girlfriend just flew in from America, so he's just spending some time. So I was like, all right, cool. You know, no biggie. I wasn't bummed out because I was having such a good time hanging out with all the other friends. Anyways, Chubbs was like, look, here's my number. Call me tomorrow before the concert. I'll get you some tickets. And all the girls that I brought along, half of them had tickets, the other half did, and they all got free VIP tickets to the concert. We get into the concert. I find Chubbs. Hey man, how's it going? He's like, yeah, cool. Wait right here. Comes back. He gives me like 20 wristbands. He's like, here, give them that to the hottest girls in the concert. All of a sudden, I became like the pimp for like the Drake entourage. So I'm going up to the girls in the concert. Obviously, like when you've got, it's like a Charlie Wonka golden ticket in your hand. You're at a Drake concert and the girls are like there to watch Drake. You're like, you just got confidence going in. So you're looking at girls. You're like, hey, what's up? I was like, hey, it's like, look, I'm in charge of picking some girls, selecting some girls for the Drake after party. If you're keen, you and your friends are welcome to join. And obviously, they were all taking it. Get the girls. Concert finishes, we go backstage, and it's just this dark room in Perth Arena, right? But there's like, you know, those big Grey Goose bottles. I've got like stacks of those. I've got music pumping, and everyone's in there. And then it's just full of girls, like this amazing vibe. And like Drake comes in and stuff, and he's just like, everyone kind of kept their cool. No one rushed him. No one like did anything. And everyone was still being genuine. He was spending time with his like missus who came in from America, and it was really nice. I didn't say hello to him. I don't want to. Yeah. My friend went and said hello. There's a saying, never meet your heroes. Yeah. You just don't know. Like, I appreciate him so much for his like music and stuff like that. I'll be like, that's how much I'll let you be. You don't want to really develop a friendship, or it's not that you won't develop a friendship. It's the fact that you don't know like the kind of day he's at, if he's tired from the concert, you know, he's traveling around Australia. You just don't know. He might be a little coldish. And my friend said he was a little coldish to me. I was like, yeah, see, if he gave up that vibe, then I'd have a reason not to like him as much. And I was like, I don't want that. Yeah. He's up there for me. But yeah, we like just kicked it with the whole crew. We went to another after party after that, which Little John was there, 2 Chainz was there. I'm not making any of this up. Like, everyone can vouch for me. And same thing at the after party. It was at Capital. P Rain was performing, and Chubbs gives me like another 20 wristbands. Like, go get the hottest girls. Just tell the bouncer you know they're with us. And the same thing happened again. I'd go out, give the girls like wristbands, come out, and just party till like God knows what time it was. And they even said to us, come out to Brisbane. They're like, we're going to Brisbane next. You want to come? And I was like, man, like, because of future music, and then the concert on the Tuesday, I was like, man, I haven't been at work. I've been hungover for like the last 4 days. I probably should have took it, but I was happy and
Yeah,
content
yeah.
with like those 3 days, you know what I mean? But like, I mean, I got their numbers next time they're in Perth. At least we've
relationship.
got a relationship, and that's being genuine and actually hitting things off.
Yeah, it's
actually
like-
happens.
That's what works. It's like if you just be a normal person,
Yeah.
might work, it might not. It did work for you. That's the main thing.
Yeah. I've wrote down actually before we wrap this up. I wrote down some questions actually.
That's all right. No, that's all right.
You're not in a rush, are you?
Nah, I'll be fine.
We've done, I think, close to an hour or something. I've asked you actually most of these questions.
Any interesting questions that are gonna? I like asking interesting questions.
Is there a life after StreetX, or is this all you want to do for the rest of your life?
That's a hard one, I think.
Yeah, that's
it's because I mean, as I was saying before about change, it's like you never know what's going to happen. Obviously, you have to have almost like a contingency plan for the future and what's going to happen. But it's like, I mean, I get to travel.
Is there anything else on the corner of your eye you look at that and go, I wouldn't mind doing that?
I mean, I just want I want to do everything.
Yeah.
Like that's why I'm a bit of like almost like ADHD, because I'm just like fidgety. Like I want to do this, I want to do that, which is great, but there's also negatives to that too, because like you overwork yourself, you put yourself out in certain places. Like this year, for example, we've got so much going on. You need to make sure you keep grounded and just do the right thing. I mean, because you could just go, okay, instead of doing 6 trips and 6 different things this year, why don't we do 3 and then 3 next year? So I've always been really good at wanting to do stuff, but you need to sort of stay level-headed and just plan properly, which is something I'm very bad at.
Yeah.
I've just been trying to work to get better at planning and a bit more organised and bring things together a bit more professionally sort of thing and make things happen like that, rather than just rushing and doing everything, which I've always done. I've always been like, cool, I've got this idea tomorrow, let's do it.
Yeah.
That's a massive positive, but it can also have negative connotations. So in terms of like the business, it's like I've got so many ideas and so many aspirations, so many connections overseas now that I want to build on them. Like this is pretty much starting point of where, when I sort of thought maybe I could start a brand, this is where I was like, if we could get to this point, like we're still so far away from all the other brands that we deal with and the other big brands overseas. It's like, in reality, we're no one. So it's now, this is a good starting point to do shit where I can go to Japan, I can go to America, I can go to Europe, Sydney, all these places, and travel and meet people, because that's how the brand, well, in my belief, that's how we're going to get to the next level, is doing that unique sort of way that other stores and brands here aren't doing. Like in Australia, there's no, I mean, over east, there's like in our industry, there's no one really doing many big things. Like there's a few great stores over there, but there's as many great stores here, and we're meant to be the smallest irrelevant city that no one cares about.
Yeah, very good point.
And that's what everyone who we've brought to Perth comes and realizes, that Perth is the epicenter for our industry pretty much. Like there's, I would say 3 to 4 awesome, even 5 awesome stores in Perth that now do all the in-house product in our industry, that are making Perth, like, for our stuff, is like better than ever right now.
Yeah.
So if we have people over, it's like they're all like, man, Perth is crazy.
Yeah.
So that's great for us, because that gives us more pull internationally, because all these internationals, it's like us, because for them it's so far removed from them. So they want to come here.
Yeah.
So like when I go overseas, I'll be like, cool, let's do something, and they'll be like, yeah, I want to come to Australia.
Yeah.
And that's our point of difference. So like that's what me traveling so much is so beneficial, because we've got that on our backhand. Be like, hey, we can do this here. And they've seen the store, they've seen the production we put together. Like our team is so awesome, because like you could show anyone the videos and stuff we've done, and that looks like a 20K budget, 30, 40K budget.
Yeah, your video photography is
that's
ridiculous.
Yeah, because we make it look like something. We make the store brand, everything looks like this crazy big production, like fully legit. But
can you guys edit my podcast for me? Actually, I'll get you guys to edit this one out.
But that's what it is because we've had such a good team of people involved that it's like we've got like, I'll speak to people who don't know me and they think StreetX is this massive thing. Like one of my friends was like, why don't you
dressed like Hugh Hefner.
Anyone
who's wearing pink is
like a guy goes to me, why don't you drive a Lamborghini? It's like, think about that statement.
Yeah.
Like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Think about how many T-shirts you would have to sell
Yeah.
to be able to buy a Lamborghini.
Yes.
Like, that's what people don't think.
Yeah.
People just see, oh, look, Daniel's traveling. These guys from StreetX doing that, they're doing that. They think it's... And that's exactly what you want, is you want people to have that perception, because we're doing a lot of stuff and it's great.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, but it's not so much faking it. It's like, we're doing all this stuff, but at the end of the day, you got to remember it's still me and a few of my friends doing this.
Yeah.
We don't have an investor. We don't have an advisor. We don't have anyone telling us what to do. It's like what we like to do.
How was it financially set up in the beginning?
So originally I got a loan,
Yeah.
which was I pulled from family, which was I was in the position to do that, which was very lucky.
Yeah.
And that's what, like, nowadays, to get a loan...
Did they ask for a business plan or anything? You're just like, look, I've got this idea.
I was
Believe in me.
With my mum and dad have always been heavily involved in my life.
Yeah.
So especially with my dad, he was very into the business side of things. And he's now retired.
What did they do? Just
so dad, they're both from South Africa. My whole family and extended family is all South African.
Yeah.
So they came here. My brother was 2. So after they'd been here for 3 years, they had me. And dad was almost like a computer engineer and very business orientated. So he worked for a lot of small businesses and ran a lot of things and managed a lot of big companies. So he was in very good stead. Like, they came here with nothing and built everything up. They came here with 10,000 Aussie dollars, which I don't know how many rand that is in South African currency. Nothing. Didn't know. They didn't come here for anything. They were originally in Sydney, then almost went to Montreal, and then ended up in Perth. And mum was a hairdresser in South Africa, and dad built up everything sort of we have. So it's like I've always had that built into me from my parents. So when I wanted to do it, dad was like sick. Yeah. He was so about it. He used to come to the business talks with me, and that's what really helped. Like, my brother's very much the same. He's a professional photographer in LA. Works with, like, he's just shot David Beckham. He's doing Lady Gaga.
Really?
Done stuff with Rolex, Asics, American Express. So he's like,
wow, his portfolio.
Yeah. So, like, all my friends, like, especially my friends, will be like, you're killing it. And it's like, I'm all doing okay, but, like, I've always got my brother one step ahead, or a few steps ahead of me, a big time ahead of me.
That's a hell of a
that's
a hell of a brother to chase.
That's what's awesome for me, is because I've got perspective on things, because I love what I'm doing, and I always think I'm killing it. Even if we don't sell anything today, I still think I'm killing it. Yeah. That's just how I am and how I've mentally sort of been trained to do things. But it's always been like, my dad was super successful. My mum's very good at what she does and successful. And my brother is super successful. So I've always had people around me who are pretty much doing a lot more than me. So it's like, I know, like, it keeps me grounded. It's like, when I'm...
Well, they say, you know, if you surround yourself with successful people, you will become a successful person.
And that's what, like, I always wanted to succeed. And that having the right people around you, same with my friends. All my friends do stuff. Like, of the creative crew and people in Perth who do stuff, my friends and the team around me make a big part of it, because they all do shit. And that's the thing, is like, having the right people. Like, a lot of my friends, I'm older, some are younger, and like from in terms of sport, business, anything, all my friendship groups do stuff. Like, none of them are just drop kicks who do nothing. And that's what's so cool, is like, I'm always grounded, because there's other people around me. Even if in money terms, there's people around me making more money. Yeah. There's people around me who are happy. Everyone's about what they're doing, and that's what's so special. Is like, it makes everything better when you've got that group of people around you, and it makes you want to do more.
Nice.
Like, I constantly, all my friends are so about what I'm doing, so I don't want to just sit back and be like, oh, let's just take a week off and do nothing. It's like, no, this collab's finished, not even finished. This collab's still going, but what am I going to do next? What's after that? Then that. Like, I'm going to LA in 2 days, but I'm thinking, what do I do when I get back? Like, that's what I'm like. I'm just like, I want to do more and more and more, because I want the people around me to be proud to be a part of things and be involved with what I'm doing, as I am with their stuff. It's like, Jack, an example, Marco, Rod, any of these guys, in terms of we look at the fighting thing again, they all do super well, and I'm super proud of them and to be friends with them and to be involved in their journey. And it works likewise with my friends and me and what I'm doing. Yeah. And that's, again, it just goes back to some life shit. It's like, being a normal person and be able to respect that other people are always going to do stuff. It's the same with having people working for. I don't like saying working for me. I'm also like working with me, which a lot of them do, because I'm not just sitting there telling them what to do, because they sometimes tell me what to do because they have ideas too.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to respect that.
You're taking more of a leader's role than an actual boss.
You got it.
And there is a difference. A lot of people don't know the difference.
Everyone, especially an employee thing.
If you're a leader, you're pushing the team forward, you know, whereas a boss, you're kind of holding them back and you're kind of moving forward, you know what I mean? And then it disconnects. That's what you're not doing.
And with the team, it's like the whole thing is like, at the end of the day, I want them to be as involved as they can, but they also are going to want to do their own thing. So you have to be able to respect that. I can't be like, nah, you can't do that. Like James, one of the guys, been at the store. I used to live with him. He's been at the store for almost 4 years, 3.5, 4 years. He's going to bought a one-way ticket to Europe to go and do his own thing. And it's like, that's awesome because he's going to go over there. He could, for example, go for 6 months, come back and have an idea about something he wants to do with the store. Like you never know what's going to happen. He could come back and never want to work at StreetX again, but he could come back and be like, oh, I met this person in Berlin who wants the store, who wants to do something. And because me and him have got that relationship on a personal level where it's not just, I'm your boss, you work for me. It's more like we're working together. He's going to be, not even want to do that. He'll be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I'll tell Daniel and we can make it happen. And that gives him the opportunity to take a lead and do his own thing, because him being a part of it, he would run that. And that's my whole thing, is like, you can never hold other people back from doing what they want. You have to push everyone around you to do more. Because the more everyone does, the more everyone benefits.
I'm going to finish it on that note. Your plugs, go for it.
All my friends.
All your friends?
Yeah, like they all know who they are.
StreetX, obviously. What's the website? Is it
StreetX.com.au.
Yeah.
Oh no, all my friends.
You've got a Facebook page, Instagram page. I'll put all the links in the
all my friends everywhere.
YouTube.
Sometimes I'm a little bit hard to deal with, but I love them all and they all love me, hopefully.
Yeah.
But they are. There's too many people to name one by one, but I don't have to name them one by one. They all know. They know. I appreciate them and all that sort of stuff. And then the people overseas, that's all doing things to help me. So that's the main thing.
Yeah, doing big things. Doing well, man. Doing well. But proud. Very, very proud of you. Doing well. For myself, at Project C podcast. Is it? I'm pretty sure it is. Something like that. Anyways, I rambled on about it long enough. Subscribe to YouTube so you get updates with everything. By the way, sorry, there has been a bit of well, this is only my second podcast for the year. I know at first I was just pumping him out, but I was in South America, which I really haven't actually spoken about. I made it back alive. It got a little rough there.
It's a good thing to talk about. Experience shapes everything. You need to talk about that.
Like, it was just an amazing, amazing trip. I won't delve into it too much, but I was there for Carnival. I will tell you though, after Carnival, I was absolutely wrecked. Like, I'll have to show you this, and then I'll have to even like link it so people can actually see. But this is the condition I was in. Carnival finished. I had maybe 10 hours sleep over the space of 5 days, and it was like the come down was like bad, like just no sleep, alcohol, everything was just terrible. So I was in the airport, and I was on the tarmac just sitting there. My friends were like, come on, we got to get out. I was like, I couldn't move. I really couldn't move. I sat there for half an hour. So they decided to just bring me out a wheelchair and wheelchair me down the tarmac.
That is not you.
That is me. And my mates were just recording.
Oh my God.
I was just sitting there in absolute agony for like hours. And they're speaking to me in like Spanish. And I'm like, I don't understand. Just leave me alone. I was in pain. That was me for like 3-4 days easily. I was on antibiotics for like a 7-day script. Like, wow. But I came back alive. I mean, everywhere was amazing. Brazil's obviously Carnival. Buenos Aires, Argentina was amazing. Bolivia was actually one of the biggest surprises because I just didn't expect Bolivia was a gamble. Like, whoever fucking goes to Bolivia, you know? But that was amazing. And obviously Peru's like Machu Picchu and stuff like that. That's a beautiful sight to see. But to be honest, the highlight of the whole trip was Iguazu Falls. The waterfalls in between Argentina and Brazil. Amazing. Spectacular. Like, I can't even describe. It's like something out of Avatar. It really is. Yeah. It's crazy. That's sick. But it was an amazing trip. I would highly, highly recommend South America to anyone. And I got good contacts there as well. So if anyone ever tells me they're going out there, I'll hook it up. Yeah, friends of friends, actually. And such warm people, South American people. Everyone's always concerned about safety and stuff like that with South America. But it's, truth be told, it's dangerous everywhere around the world. You just got to be street smart, know where you're going, know how to interact with people. And yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. With that being said, thank you for coming in, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right. I'm sure we'll do this again in the future.
I like talking.
To StreetX. Out.